Hi, welcome to this video where I hopefully going to finish the first draft of the book I'm writing. I've already filmed some pieces, but I wanted to hop in and give an explanation about what my story is about, because I've done a few writing vlogs and mentioned it, but I haven't really said like what it's about. Last night I was telling Jonathan the whole plot of my story because I'm kind of stuck at the moment. I've written, I would say, like 97% of my first draft, and there's something that hasn't happened and I don't know how I'm going to fit in. So of course, to explain it to him, I explained the entire plot. So I have for the first time said it all out loud to someone, so I should be able to kind of coherently tell a camera about it, but I don't want to give a bunch of spoilers, so I'm not really sure how much to like say. Anyway, I'm delaying this too much. My story, I'm calling it The Legend of Bologna. I don't have some like code name project blah blah for it. Legend of Bologna is how I'm thinking of it. That's what I'm gonna call it in videos. My story is it's inspired by Greek mythology very loosely. I really like the idea of like how different societies all have a religion. I'm not religious, so I just find that fascinating, because I don't think there's like one true correct religion, and I find cultures that have like all these stories and like multiple gods very interesting. So I mean, I'm not special. Lots of people think that Greek mythology is interesting, so I kind of like the idea of there being like lots of gods and they're all like fucking around. You know, Greek gods are crazy. So that's kind of some inspiration. I still haven't actually said. So my main character, her name is Bologna. She is the reincarnation of the goddess of war. So that is based off like a real thing in Greek mythology. Bologna is the god of war in Greek mythology. So my character is like the reincarnation of that god and basically all the ramifications that come with that. So she's expected to lead her people into a war, but she's also just a girl. She's just a girl. So she's like battling with that expectation. She believes it, but also she does something that makes her think that maybe she's not a god, because she fucks something up really badly that I can't say, because that's only revealed at the end. Like, I'm being so vague. That's her. She's the main character. So it's about how she believes that she has to go to war. There's an inciting incident where I'm gonna sneeze. Jonathan made a joke that I should make a compilation of all of my sneezes. So there's an inciting incident. Basically, she gets kidnapped by the male love interest, who is from a different realm. There's like 7 realms. The number 7 is really important throughout the story because my favorite number is 7. And I realized, because I'm the writer, I can literally do whatever the fuck I want. And if I want the number 7 to be really important, I can do that. So the 7 realms, she's from the one in the south, he's from the one in the north, and he kidnaps her. He has his own motivations that don't really get revealed in the first book, but he kidnaps her for a purpose that she doesn't know, and so he takes her to travel through to the other side of the country, and through that she like sees the different realms, the different kinds of people, realms that are doing well, maybe realms that are not doing as well, and she realizes that she actually wants to see more of the world before she goes home and then goes to war and like kills a bunch of people in that process. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that's like the opening thing, because a lot more stuff happens in the later half of the story. There's like, but I don't know how much to give away. There's like a plot, because people have magic, but only some people, and the further south you go the less magic there is, but we don't know why. Bologna believes it's because like the magic is being hoarded by the people in the north. So there's like a setup of why Bologna and the love interest main guy are enemies at the beginning. So it's enemies to lovers because they're from like opposite realms, and she's gonna have to go to war against him. She believes he's like from a place that's hoarding all the magic, but that might not be true. So yeah, she ends up in a different place. I'm cooking right now. I'm doing this, filming this while I'm cooking, because cooking is so boring. I should probably check on that because I can hear it going. My beans are okay. Yes, it's something enemies to lovers. The main girl has a cat, which is inspired by my cat. Shout out to Slinky. Cat in my story is a lot more badass than Slinky is, because he's a big wuss, but this cat in the story isn't. So there's like people who have magic don't have to hide it. Like it's not like a story where you have to hide that you're magic, but like everybody wants it. And like the further south you go, the less people who have magic. So there's also in the first book gonna be a bad guy who's like hardly anyone's gonna watch this. So she gets like entangled in this plot with a guy who's like I don't know if that's vague enough or if it's too vague. I haven't really found a way to like say it catchily, and I didn't prepare at all. I don't prepare before I turn on the camera, which could be a bad idea. We'll see how that goes for me when I'm editing this clip. So that's the premise of what I'm writing. It's fantasy, it's meant to be romance, but that subplot has been like forgotten about, so I'm gonna have to fix that in future drafts. It's enemies to lovers, it's found family, it's you think your mum is a good guy but actually I guess like realizing that your parents are not perfect was like a plot line or like a theme. And stars also really important. 7-pointed star is like a motive throughout the story, source of magic, because I've always liked stars and like outer space, and I'm the writer, so I can literally put whatever I want into the world building. It can be whatever I want. So that's where we're at, and I will not say any more because this is going to be the first clip in the video and I already have stuff to tell you from a few days ago. So thanks for looking on this video, and let's watch me complete the first draft of my first book, first original fiction. I struggle with what to say because I've written multiple fanfics, but they're not, it's different, you know. So it's finishing the first draft of a book that is original fiction, completely my own intellectual property. Hello, I wanted to start filming because I'm really close to finishing my first draft, and I know I want to make a video about finishing my first draft, and I realized that I'm really close, so I need to start filming something. I have my Slink here, my supervisor. Current word count is 78,000 words. I'm really close to 79,000 words. I have this, it's like kind of a chapter outline, but not. It's more like a beats outline. So the green is everything that I've accomplished, and then at the bottom we have 4 boxes of beats that I still have left to work on, and I'm currently halfway through the 4th to last one. So obviously I'm really close to the end. Right now is kind of quite a climactic scene. Obviously things have been revealed, a lot of betrayals have been revealed, a lot of things about the character that she didn't know have been revealed, as well as she's like hiding something from the audience. She's kind of being an unreliable narrator. That's been revealed. Yeah, I'm like really close to the end. Once I realized that, I had the urge to stop writing, which is silly to like delay ending for some reason. But we're on track because I wanted to finish the first draft by the 14th of March, and today's the 27th of January, and I was getting kind of worried that I wouldn't finish it in time for this made up deadline, but I think we really will, because I could probably today at least finish writing the beat that I'm up to, or like the cell in my table that I'm up to, and then I'll only have 3 left. They're kind of just my thoughts being split into being organized, but they're not like chapter breakdowns. One of them very strongly relates to the one before, but it's like a separate thing, like a separate idea that's really not making sense. Like it's all the same scene, just continuing. So there's not really a reason why it's in a separate cell, except for the fact that it's like kind of a big moment. I'm gonna keep writing. I'm trying to do some formatting thing and it keeps refreshing the page instead. I just wanted to film because I've hit 80,000 words. Yay, that's a lot of words. I just want to say my makeup is messed up because I yawned. That's just the state of what it is in the evenings. But I'm at 80,000 words, 80,096, and I'm really close. I just have to write one kind of thing. I don't know how many chapters it will take me, and then an epilogue. But I've written like it's like an escape thing. They're like escaping, and there's something that needs to happen where someone's life is spared, and that just hasn't happened. Because when you write something, the characters just kind of go in their own directions, even though I know what they need to do. So I'm kind of confused about how I will get them, how I will fit that in. I don't know how that's gonna happen with like the flow of the chapter and how they've escaped. Like, I don't know. So I don't know whether I should try focus on fixing it or if I should just let it go and then ruminate on it, and I might come up with an idea later. But it also doesn't feel like a complete draft if I don't put it in somewhere, so I'm not sure. Jonathan's guess is that my draft will be, what'd you say, 85 to 90,000 words. So we'll see how long it takes me to finish the last 2-ish, 3-ish bits left.
So Cricket, how does this work? You're gonna transfer his memory back into my marrow brain stuff or whatever? I call it the roll portable chicken on there. 実はな、もうあるんだよ。思ってもみなかったところからすごいやつが転がり込んできた。すごいやつ。よし、見せていたから助手席に乗れ。しびれる。すげえな、おい。こう来るかよ。どうだ、しびれる。しびれるなんてもんじゃない。ぶっ飛んだよ。よくこんなもんが手に入ったな。これが発動機に乗り込もうとゾクゾクするな。
Hi, it's Friday. I'm a gremlin today, so just pretend that I don't look like this. I just wanted to pop in and say that I fixed my plotting problem, and it was actually like a really obvious solution. I don't know why I didn't think of it, but I was like, I wrote out all these notes about the scene, and then I was like I was incorporating it into my table that I've shown you, and it just came to me. So I've been trying to fix the scene. There's a couple characters I keep forgetting need to be around, like the cat. I keep forgetting about her. So I'm now at 80,454 words, and today I've done 358, which is just me trying to fix that scene. So I feel like that's good, although I have worked a bit more on my outline, and there's a lot of stuff I think I've gone and I'm gonna have to go back and put in. Like, can I just still include, like, count this as a first draft finished, and then in the second draft put that stuff in? I don't know. There's no rules. I'm the one making the rules. I also found a note in my notebook of an idea that I must have had a while ago that's actually good, and I just completely forgotten about it, so I should go back and add that in too at some point. I don't know whether I want to do that now. I don't know when to count the first draft as done, because I already know I'm going to like completely rewrite the first act. So knowing that I have stuff I want to change in the fourth act, like, is that really that different? I don't know, but I do know how to fix that plot hole I had, or plot missing thing. Not really plot hole, it's just something I wanted to happen, wasn't happening, but I've put it in, so that's good. I thought I would give you an update. I'm at 82,419 words. I am kind of close to finishing, but it feels really anticlimactic. Like, I don't feel excited to be nearly finished the first draft, because I think it's because I know how much I still have to do. Like, I still have a massive task ahead of me, and finishing the first draft doesn't feel that monumental in like the scheme of things. I don't know if I just need to like adjust my mindset, because I guess it is a big deal to write it all the way to the end, but I already know that there's so many things that I need to fix and add in. That's what. So I have in my outline thingy there, you can see all the green is what I've like ticked off as doing. and I've got basically 2 squares left. I'm not really sure of the conversations that are happening in basically the last chapter. I only kind of know what's happening. I feel like I need to do work on the main characters, the 2 main characters' romance plotline, to have more stuff between them, and then it's the epilogue. It just feels really anticlimactic right now. Yeah, there's just lots more to do, I guess, so it doesn't feel like finishing, but I think I will still count it as the end of the first draft, because something that has been helping me a lot is someone else's video somewhere. I saw someone say that the first draft is just telling yourself the story, which helped me a lot towards the end, because I think I only saw someone say that like a few weeks ago, and it was when I was feeling quite shitty about my quality of writing and stuff, but it helped me kind of reframe and just be like, just keep going. So I guess that's what I need to just keep doing, is just keep going, and this is just the first time of me telling myself the story, and then I'll fix it, and that's okay. I need to fix it. It's just that the first draft is me telling myself the story the first time. I'm just not feeling well about it for some reason. I'm kind of hungry, so I think we're gonna eat something, maybe take a break. I also think I need to read something, because I'm not really reading anything at the moment, and I think I need like a different creative outlet in my brain. I wanted to tell you, forgot, I spent like an hour drawing today because I finally got a screen protector for my iPad that is textured, so it's supposed to feel like paper, and honestly I don't know if it's placebo, but I think it actually like made a difference. And I drew this, I've printed it out because I have a printer, so I'm taking advantage of the fact that I have a printer. I could also put the digital version on the screen, but I think it's really fun. It also reminded me that wolves are like quite a big thing in this first book and barely in it, so that's something I need to like fix massively, just the presence of wolves, because they're like really important to the bad guys' motives, which I know, but they're not really present currently. But at first when I was drawing this I was like, wow, this is so bad. I'm kind of happy with it because it's supposed to look all fucked and weird, so I think it's fun. And then I did 7 stars with 7 points, so that's fun. I feel like it could be a cover, like that's my mock cover for the, well, not mock, that's my cover for the first book, and I think it's cool. Would you read a book that has that cover? I might, I don't know. I like the vibe, but I don't know how I would feel if it was on someone else's book, if I would be like, yes, I want to read that. Hard to judge that. So I'm happy with that at least. And maybe I'll draw some more stuff now that I have that screen protector on. Okay, I'll stop rambling now. When I next talk to you, I'll probably be finished. Hopefully. Hello, I'm in the same place and in the same hoodie, but it's a different day. It's Sunday? Sunday. I haven't finished the draft yet, but I've been thinking about the villain of the story and the wolves, and this morning I was like writing down things about this guy's character, because he's actually quite big to the story, but he hasn't really been in it very much, which obviously I'll need to fix in the future draft. But I had an idea for like a chapter, so I've been working on that today. It's like back in the 3rd act, because I have 4 acts, so the scene that I'm writing is back in the 3rd act. But I was inspired to write it, so I'm currently at have I not updated my word count? Okay, I'm currently at 83,000 words, and today I've written 913. But I'm only like not even halfway through the chapter slash scene that I've thought of to add, so I've got to keep going on that. That should be fun. I was just having a break eating. I got pasta. Yeah, that's my update. It's going good. Yeah, just
I have to put on a
can't
track
see.
that I'm good at. Otherwise people will think I'm really bad at racing.
You think people will be looking at
Yeah. It's like Subway Surfing.
I'm writing down, I have something, like I can't decide when it's going to be revealed or how it's going to be revealed, so I'm going to write down 2 different options so I can think about them, and then I have to pick one to go with, and then if I want to change it later I can. I don't think it would be that hard to change. So I was explaining to Jonathan my problem and he said it's too complicated. Right?
Yeah, I'm too stupid.
You're not too stupid, it's just you don't really read fantasy. You're more of a non-fiction.
I just don't read books.
That's,
Can't read.
that's not true. I mean, the last book you read were graphic novels, so it's pictures. I chose a green glitter pen, but it's not really working. Grey glitter pen, not green. It's not working super well. Probably gets better. Okay. I spelt hair dye wrong. How do you think I spelled it?
H-A-R-E.
H. What?
Easy.
Not here, the dye part.
Oh, D-I-E.
Here is correct, but dye is not.
You didn't say which one was correct.
Pretty bad.
It was correct.
What's wrong with me?
You're thinking about death.
I figured out the sequence of events, but I don't know if the key information to understand the events is going to be at the beginning or at the end. To like put it in context. But I'll decide that later. Right now I'm just making the sequence of events. And then I'll decide where later, which fits better. What you doing, Slink? Oh. Bye. Hello. I've been napping, so I feel kind of not 100% awake right now. It's Friday. The last time I was writing and probably gave you some sort of update was Monday, but it feels way longer than that to me. It's only 3 days without writing, but it feels like it was a really long time. So we're finishing the draft this weekend. I added that scene in. I figured out something about Alona's hair that I told you about. I don't know if I said it. I didn't say it was her hair, but it's her hair. I don't think that's so much of a giveaway. And I was just looking over my outline and thinking, when can I say when's the end of the draft, you know, because I have all these things. Like I have my column of the plot points / kind of chapters, and then beside it I have things to add already, which I'm considering a lot of that like draft 2 stuff. But I'm like, what can I add now to make it feel like the end of the draft? I'm considering end of draft when the whole story has been told all the way through for the first time, which I'm pretty much at. I just haven't written the epilogue yet. So I'm thinking, what things can I go back and add in now? Probably to the 4th act, because that's what I've worked on. That's what I've written the most recently. And then write the epilogue, and then say that it's the end of draft 1. So I think I'm gonna work backwards, and then I'll get to things that are more complicated, that require more of like a whole draft overhaul, because I'm rewriting Act 1 and some of Act 2 that will impact. But most of the stuff I think in Act 3 and 4 won't take that long and aren't that complicated. So that's where we're at. I did have a nap because I've been meaning to do this like all day, and it's 6:30. So I've just I was reading and filming for a different video, and then I had a nap for like, no, I didn't really need a nap, and it's probably discombobulated me more than anything else. So we're working backwards. I think that explanation makes sense. Okay. Let's end this clip for now. First one already complete. Just one line. So then I think I'm gonna cheat a little bit and like just put the line of the fact that it happens, because in one of these scenes, the scene's already quite short. Yeah, it's 219 words, so funny, because I kind of said to myself, oh, I can just put brackets in, and so I know that this is where that goes. Kind of just wrote 500 words. I just got kind of carried away. I love dialogue so much. I love writing dialogue, and things that this bad guy was saying just kept coming to me, so that's great. That one's a tick. I think I'll leave that for now, and I can actually change the like heading for that bit to be more specific. Made it way better, to be honest, because I wasn't really sure what was happening in that scene before I had this idea, so that's good. I just wanted to give a quick update because I've finished the corrections that I said that I wanted to do to count the draft as done in my spreadsheet. So I've consolidated all the things that I wanted to add. So the only thing I have left to do is I want to read over the last chapter, and then I have to write the epilogue, and then it's the end. So I just wanted to give that update before I do that. I don't have anything else to say. That's all I have to do. So, oh, my word count. I'm at 87,000 words and 861. So it's gone up like a reasonable amount. Hello. I heard a door shut, but there's no one in the house. It's 11:30 on Sunday, so I have about 2 hours to write in. It sounds late, but I just got up. I woke up like an hour ago. Didn't really have a great sleep. Anyway, that's not the point. I have 2 hours to write, so I think I can finish the draft within 2 hours if I just get straight into it and just do it. So that's my plan. Got Toolie here hogging all the blanket. Yeah, you've got all the good blankets. This is the shit one. I'm fueled by an energy drink, which is mostly full, but I opened it yesterday, so it's not very fizzy anymore. And I have 2 halves of a Subway cookie, generously given to me by Jonathan. White chocolate chip? Which I'll eat first, because gotta save the best till last, which is, this also has white chocolate chips in it, but it's brown. See? So in my draft thingy, my color coding, green is I've done it, red means I need to add, blue means need to add but not sure about adding it, and yellow I've highlighted some dialogue that I think might go in book 2. So I've highlighted, I've gotten rid of all of my red highlight apart from 2. I'm not really counting that first one as, I'll fix it. It's like someone's character showing up a bit more, I'm not really sure. Right now, like I think I need to learn more about him. The other thing that's red is the cat that I keep forgetting about. Definitely needs to be in this scene towards the end, and she's just not. But I'm gonna fix, that's a later problem. I kind of need to track her the cat's whole journey and where she is all the time, and how she's gonna fit into things. So that doesn't count. You can still see Tilly. So I was gonna say something. I feel like maybe I'm not fully awake yet. I am going to reread the last chapter because I didn't really know what I was doing the first time. I think I'm a little bit more of a vision, but not totally, because I think there'll be some conversations between Bologna and the main character slash love interest I think the conversations will change through the edit, because right now they don't really have super much of a romance going on, and I need there to be tension between them. So I think that tension will come later when I like fine tune that kind of plot line. And also it's really hard to I need like the last line to like be punchy and hit, and I don't really have that right now, which is fine because it's like I've got a lot of time to figure that out. But it's like having a last line that feels like a conclusion of the first book, but also like not so like enticing that there's more to come. Like I want people to finish the first book and be like, I can't wait to read the second one, not finish the first book and be like, oh, that's fine, like I don't need to read the second one, which I've done many times with trilogies or like series, and been like, I've read the first book, honestly don't care what happens, like it's concluded enough for me, or like I'm just not, that's just a situation where I'm not like invested in what's happening. So I need enough of a motivator to like, you know, the last line needs to make you want more. Maybe I'll like read Once Upon a Broken Heart, the endings of those, because those books I was like, I need more immediately as soon as I'd finish them. So maybe I'll have a look at that. Although I think definitely for the first book, and that the thing that really got me was the romance, which only really happened in the third act, like a moment between Jax and Evangeline that really hooked me. So, which we kind of have. I have like the groundwork for that kind of vibe of things changing between them and there being a lot more tension. I've just spent like 10 minutes talking to you, not very coherently, so I'm just gonna start writing now. So close, kind of crazy. Okay, let's just write and stop talking. Ellipsis is fucking awful for going back. Control Z, it goes back like a crazy amount and it's so annoying. And there's no redo. It's really frustrating. Think wants to eat my biscuit. Not for you. You cannot have that. My writing session has been ruined. I don't have anywhere to put my laptop. Also sitting so close to each other, which is crazy because they're not friends. The scene that we're working on is actually going pretty well. I have all this stuff happening between Bologna and the main guy. I'm not saying his name because I'm not sure if I want to tell you or not, which I think gives space for them to have, like, if I need to change what they're talking about, I have a place to put that in the future. I was really close to the end and then Slinky sat on me, so I've kind of finished the last chapter. It was kind of a mess, and like I said, I don't know how to make the last line really good. Now all I have to do is the epilogue. I think maybe the cats are cold, that's why they're both here. Yeah, I don't know why. It feels anticlimactic because I was writing like a previous bit and then I already had written like the end paragraph of the chapter, so it feels anticlimactic that I'm not even writing that part now because I wrote it like, I don't know, a week ago or something. I would have been vlogging when I wrote it. So all that's left is the epilogue, which I've already written a lot of, like in my outline, like as the idea came to me, which actually might solve my problem of not knowing, like my problem of wanting the ending to be like enticing to read more. I think the epilogue is that. I just feel like epilogues are kind of like, I don't know, they have like a weird vibe about them, you know? You can't even see my computer, but it's right here. I'm at 88,000 words. I don't know if I already told you that, or is it a new thing? It is a new thing. Look at me. I've just written 1,000 words. 2013. I don't even realize. I love it when you get, hardly ever happens at the moment, get hit like a really good groove and then suddenly you're at 1,000 words without even like having paused. Crazy. So I'm at 88,000 words. I think I'm gonna hit 89 because it's 88 and 874. So the word count's gonna be closer to 90k than I thought it would be, which I think is fine. I'm not liking the anticipation of having to like cut stuff out because I know it's going to end up longer when I write the second draft because there's so much stuff missing right now. I'm really just copying over what I already did. It's really annoying when I copy things from OneNote into Ellipsis. It copies it as if it's like a text box or an image or something, and that's really frustrating. So I have to rewrite things. I finished. The epilogue is what, 223 words right now. That'll probably change. My total word count is 89,211, so I did hit 89. Yeah, I think I'm finished. I think, okay, I can mark my little boxes as green. So that's all the little boxes green. I don't know, it feels like, as I've said, like anticlimactic, but writing a story all the way to the end is actually like a huge accomplishment, and it's about characters that I've made up and characters that are like in a universe that I've completely made up, so it's actually like a huge deal. It's just that there's so much more to go, you know, like so much more to go. So it's like both things can be true at the same time, I guess. It is really fun. I want to do like a proper wrap up later when I've like collected my thoughts, but it is fun because I was writing, like transferring over what I'd written for the epilogue, and it's just fun the way that I can see, I'll see it majorly when I'm like reading through the draft and fixing things, is the terms I've used for things and like world building things. I can't remember where it is. Oh yeah, in the epilogue I was calling, and at the beginning, I was calling people dark alchemists, which was like, because alchemy is kind of like, from what I've read on Wikipedia, was like the study of how to turn things into gold and how to, I don't know how much of it is Wikipedia and how much is my own, like what I've inserted on top of that. I'll Google it. Attempted to purify, mature and perfect certain materials. Yeah, the creation of the elixir of mortality, the panaceas to cure any disease. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And so like dark alchemists are the ones who are like trying to purify, find the source of magic, I guess. And then as I was writing, I came up with a different name for those people. So it's funny like seeing that in the outline. I'm gonna sneeze. It's just funny seeing how things change. I'll see that like way more when I'm reading through the draft. Anyway, I'll stop talking for now. I'm gonna like summarize my thoughts, figure out a few statistics, and I'll tell you those in a later clip. It's funny because it's only 12:30, so it only took me an hour to do this, which is kind of funny. I feel like I was kind of putting it off. I'll stop talking, otherwise I'm just rambling and saying nothing of meaning for the vlog. But I've done it. I feel like I need some reward, but I don't know what. I do have this quarter of a cookie left, so this cookie quarter is my reward for finishing the first draft. I also wanted to say, for my own life documentation, it's quite funny because Jonathan has been working on his car for like years, months. He's been sanding, I don't know, is that the right word, the engine bay of his car for like a year to prepare it to be painted, and this weekend he's painting it, and today he is finishing painting it. So it's quite funny. I like it that we're both making like huge progress and meeting like big like landmarks of achievement with our own like separate projects on the same day, because like he's obviously got a lot more to do. He has to put like the engine in and everything, and I have to keep working on the draft to make it better. So it's actually like very similar, like metaphorically they're kind of, you know, lining up, so that's really fun. I'll talk to you later when I'm more coherent and planned. Hello, I am back with the video started in the same shirt. I'm here. Tula's also here. She's so funny. What? She's being chaotic. She just galloped away. Okay, this is gonna be quick because this video is already over 30 minutes long. So I've got a summary on my Google Docs. Not very interesting. I'm just reading with my phone. For some final stats to conclude this first draft. My final word count was 89,211 words, which was about where I feel like that's a good amount. I think it is going to reach 100,000 when I redraft it, rewrite it. So I'm okay, like I'm pretty happy with it. It makes sense, I think, for a story to be that long. Days to write the draft. So I started on the 14th of September with the goal to finish it within 6 months. And I finished it early because I finished it on the 8th of February. That's cool. So it was 148 days since I started until I finished, which I didn't write down how many months that is, but it's less than 5 months. It must be like 4 months and 3 weeks or something. Days spent writing, 82 days out of the 148 days, which works out to be 55% of the time, which I was kind of surprised by the fact that it was so low. Like I thought it would be higher than that, but then I think my writing kind of like went up as I went. I have calculated how much I wrote for each month, which is kind of interesting. So in September when I started the draft, that was only half a month because I started on the 14th. Yeah, the 14th of September. I wrote 7,832 words, and then in October I wrote 19,186. In October I had the day where I wrote the least amount of words, which I had in my Excel spreadsheet that I wrote -2 on the 18th of October. So I must have deleted something. So I was obviously working on it, but I didn't write anything, but I edited something and deleted something. November was 12,296 words. Randomly, because for that month the word count isn't super high, but I had my highest word count day on the 2nd of November. It was a Sunday, which I think is a massive contributor to why I reached this, but I reached 3,288 words on the 2nd of November, which is just really random. I don't know what I was on, and I wish I did know. I don't think I even put a note as to what I was writing that day, so I really don't know why that happened. It's interesting because in November I only wrote 12,296, so it's like my second lowest month, but then I had the highest word count day. So, and then in December I wrote really close to 15,000, but not quite. I wrote 14,971. End of November, beginning of December, I was writing a Secret Santa one-shot fanfic, so that's why it makes sense that the word releasing, because I took like 3 weeks off writing and then went really hard into writing the week of Christmas. Then January was the highest amount of writing I did, which makes a lot of sense because it was the beginning of the year. I had time off work. I was writing every day for like a few weeks of January. So in January I wrote 28,161 words, which is my highest month by like far. By 10k words at least extra in January compared to other months. And then in February so far I've written 6,792, and that's only in 8 days, so that's kind of a lot for me. And I didn't write every day last week. I think maybe I definitely took 3 days off in the middle of the week. Okay, and I wrote some other things. I don't know if this is interesting. 25 days of writing were over 1k but less than 2k, so that was my most common kind of number. There must be a lot of days with less than 1,000. 10 days I had writing over 2k, and 1 day I wrote over 3k. More kind of statsy things is the chapter count. So I don't really have chapters right now. I just have like beats in my, it's like a table I have, so it's kind of chaptery, kind of just how my brain has separated the things out. So right now there's 39 cells in that table. Act 1 has 2 cells, which is why I keep saying that I need to rework Act 1 because I didn't really know what's happening there. Act 2 has 11, Act 3 has 12, and Act 4 has 14. So it's actually pretty equally kind of balanced. It like goes up as it goes along, which makes sense for the plot so far. So Act 1 is where most of the plotting stuff has to happen, as I've kind of said. Oh, Slink has arrived. My favourite scene to write was probably something with Bologna and Florrie, who is a girl that she becomes friends with. I think those scenes I felt the most creative and enjoyed their dynamic. I think I just like understood Florrie like straight away, whereas the male love interest, he's more tricky. I'm actually trying to envision a lot of my headcanon Ron from Harry Potter as the guy. Just because I know the Harry Potter characters so well, it just helps me like frame them a bit in my head. So he's kind of got my headcanon Ron energy, kind of. He's like kind of like golden retriever on a mission in this thing that's like way bigger than him, if that makes sense. So like he has a good happy-go-lucky attitude, but he's dealing with like heavy shit, if that makes sense. That's a complete tangent. Yeah, my favourite scenes were probably with Florrie. There was one scene that something exciting happened in that I wasn't expecting, and that was fun. And then the hardest part to write, I was probably struggling the most in Act 2. I think because at that stage I was just like, I knew ABC where I needed what I needed to happen, and it didn't feel super creative. It was just like writing very laboriously to get her from one place to another, which isn't my favorite way of writing. It was good that I knew where to put her, otherwise it would have been a shit show like the first time I wrote this story, like 3 or 5 years ago or something. But that was like the least fun part, but it's another part that I need to go back and like make more interesting, because in my mind that's the boring part. Act 2 is boring, so I need to make Act 2 more fun. Then I have 2 points of advice for past me, which are not unique points of advice. I feel like I'm too close to the camera. First of all, the first draft is just you telling yourself the story, and I don't know why it took me so long to come across this advice, but it's really good advice, and it helped a lot. When I was like Act 3, I think is when I stumbled across it. It's true, you're just telling the story to yourself and then you can fix it later, and that really like helped my brain. Like, it doesn't have to be good, which I already knew. Like, I went into writing this first draft being like, it doesn't have to be good, it just has to exist. But something about the exact phrasing of first draft is just telling yourself the story, it helped a lot. For some reason it just clicked. And something another YouTuber said was like comparing it to this metaphor of how do you eat an elephant, and you eat an elephant one bite at a time, which is what I would tell myself when I was feeling like really overwhelmed about the whole scope of the story, because it's like really convoluted. Not convoluted, but like complicated, and like I think it'll be a trilogy, so that in itself is overwhelming. The first book has a lot of stuff going on, so when I'm feeling overwhelmed I tell myself that you just have to do it one bite at a time. The last thing that I think I'll say is my thoughts on ellipsis. So I've been using ellipsis to write my first draft because they have a really strong anti-AI stance, which is really important to me. It's really iffy about whether Google is feeding your Google Docs to an AI or not, because from what I've seen in the settings, I've turned all those settings off. But a lot of people online are like, I don't know where they're getting the information from, but even just the idea that they could be, I don't like that. So that's why I'm in ellipsis. There are things that annoy me about it, obviously. I think I mentioned in this video, just glitchy. I don't love the user interface. Some things I do like about it, but I don't like how clunky it is to get to different menus when you're writing. But I do like the themes it has. I did export the draft as a PDF. You can only export it as Markdown or PDF, which seems not great. So you'd have to copy and paste it into a Word doc anyway to be able to share it with people who don't have ellipsis. But it was quite fun seeing it as a PDF because it felt really like a story, more so than it does in ellipsis, because ellipsis doesn't have pages, it just forever scrolls, which I think is a good thing, but I also wish I could turn on pages at the same time. I don't think there's a way that I can print a version of it with page numbers or like make a typeset of it. I would have to put it in Google Docs. I can't do that in ellipsis. I was going back and forth about it, and I think I still want to keep using ellipsis because I like the idea that my work is safe from being fed to AI. But then I was looking at the export and all the quotation marks, I never really looked that closely, but they're all straight, and I like the curved quotation marks. So I was frustrated by that, and then I was looking it up and you could actually have turned it on the whole time, and I just didn't have it turned on in my settings in ellipsis. And then I turned it on and it changed like some of them at the beginning, but majority are not, and they're all still straight, which means I'll have to go in and edit every single one of the quotation marks in the whole draft. I'll have to go in and change. So that's really frustrating, but I think I'm enjoying ellipsis enough. I also like how it has the word count as a default all the time on, whereas Google Docs doesn't do that. And I really like the theme. Like, I've picked like a really gentle colour on my eyes whereas Google Docs is only white. So I'm going to stick with ellipsis for now, and hopefully they'll continue to like improve the product and it will get better. That's my spiel on finishing my first draft. I got a lot of work to still do, so I think I'll literally just get straight into making a video about the second draft because I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm not going to take a break. I know some people write the first draft and then take a 2-week break. I'm not doing that. I can't let myself take breaks from writing because I'll take a break and then I will never return to it. Literally ever. I will just stop caring about it. So I need to stay constantly thinking about it, and I cannot have an official break. Like, I'm fine with having like an unofficial week off writing where I'm not stressing myself to write, but I can't take like a full I'm not thinking about it break because I will completely disengage and never want to write it again. So so I can't do that. So last night I was already copying over a new outline because I get really attached to all my little notes to myself. Like I get sentimentally attached to them. So I copied over to a new outline so I can like edit it and not feel attached to notes that I've written to myself, and just make it really clean for draft 2 and put the new notes, things that I need to add. And I need to stop talking about this because I'm gonna make a different video about the second draft, so I'll stop talking. And I'm also at 15 minutes now, so whoops. Thanks for watching this video if you're still here, because it's like an hour long at this point. I hope it was fun. I feel like it's really good documentation of my life to show me finishing the first draft. I don't know if this is the first draft of something I'll get published, but I have really good hopes on it because I think I have something. I should shut up because my camera will stop recording soon. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Leave me a comment if you're here. Put a star emoji for Bologna. I wish you could do like a hand symbol that means stars, but it doesn't exist. Bye!